Alright, 6th graders, so I'm going to start setting up my exterior space, and the first thing I'll do is put in my horizon line. I'm going to go somewhere in the middle of the paper. Remember, I always want to draw lightly with this project. You'll see me drawing a little darker just so that you can see it better in the video. I very much encourage you to draw lightly, and I'm going to want that line to be extremely straight, a horizontal line. I use the edge of my paper that I already know is perfectly straight to kind of make sure that my ruler is parallel to that edge of the paper. Next, I'll put in my vanishing point, the tiny dot where things converge or vanish, right in the middle there. That will be erased later, just a little dot. I'm going to make my pathway in the front, depending on what you're deciding to create with that pathway, whether it's a road, railroad track, dirt path, river, city street. You can decide how wide you want it, starting from the vanishing point and going out to the bottom of the paper. Vanishing point, end of the paper. Next, I'm going to put in 2 guiding lines at the top, start at the vanishing point, and go to the corner, the top corner of my paper. Those will also be erased later, so draw those nice and light. Alright, I'm ready to now begin adding in my details that my exterior space is set up. I like to start sometimes putting whatever I want in the horizon if there is anything. So for example, if I was going to be doing, I'm kind of thinking like a desert sort of southwestern mountainous scene for myself. I might put in my mountains kind of lightly into the background. You can put whatever you like in the background. Maybe it's houses, trees, a skyline. Something about when you're putting something right directly in front of you, remember the horizon line is like where your eye is. You don't really see it from the side, you see it straight on. So it's really just going to be a straight frontal view. You don't need to use your vanishing point or anything like that, because you see it, your eye will see it straight on. Alright, I can add more to that later, but now I kind of have that sketched out. I'm going to be having a road going through into the mountains here, so I'm going to be putting in my little dashed lines. I'm going to line up my ruler with my vanishing point, have it come down. And something to think about as I'm dividing this mark into smaller bits for the yellow dashed line of the road is it's going to start out wider and longer and then get shorter and thinner as it goes back into space. So each time I make a separate box, I'm having it get smaller and smaller and smaller, and the space in between the lines gets smaller too. Okay. I'm going to put in a building, okay, into my space. It's going to be sort of like an old trading post, kind of an abandoned trading post. So I'm going to start with the frontal view, and the building's going to be kind of coming off this side. So I'm going to have one really nice and straight vertical line, top of my guiding line there. Okay. And then the front face of the building is going to have a horizontal line across it. Okay. So now this is the front face of my building, meaning that you're not going to be able to see anything inside of there anymore. So I'm going to erase that part of the horizon line and these mountains because they're now covered up. They're covered up by my building that I just drew. Okay, so here I have the front face of the building. I can put in windows, doors, anything like that, but first I want to finish up the building. So to do that, I'm going to decide where the building ends. I think I'll have it end like right above the bottom of the paper with another horizontal line. Now I take the corner of my building, line it up with the vanishing point, and have it go back into space as big as I'd like that building to be. Then I have a vertical, again nice and straight up and down. Okay. And my guiding line actually finishes off the building here. So I need to get rid of this horizon line inside of my building. Right, and you can see my building here. If I want to put a roof on my building, there are many different ways to do that. I'm going to do mine starting with triangle on top. So 2 angled lines coming from the corners of my building. And then I'm going to connect this point to the top corner of my building here. Alright, that gives me a roof. I might put in a door next. 2 vertical lines, and then my converging line following the vanishing point. Maybe I'll further divide that door. So there's 2 smaller doors there. Perhaps I'll put in some windows. If I want to put windows in on this side, remember they need to be following the lines that the building are. So that means 2 horizontal lines and 2 vertical lines. Now this line I see is a bit crooked. I need to fix that. It's really important to have straight lines when you're doing this. So that can be a window there. I can add some more visual interest to this building, perhaps create a sign. If I'm going to create a sign, I'll call it the trading post. I'm going to use my vanishing point, my 2 verticals, and then I'll write the words within that space. So they have to kind of follow along in that shape to make it actually look like it fits in that. I'm just gonna say trade because I'm gonna run out of room. Oops, that is the wrong angle. There we go. So you can see my letters kind of have to line up with my vanishing point as well. On this side, perhaps I'll put in some different natural items, maybe cacti. Now if it's a frontal view, you can simply just draw it the way you would anywhere else. If there's like cacti that are descending back into space, I'm going to make a guiding line, or any kind of plant really. And then I'll know that the tops of them have to touch that line, and then I need really straight vertical lines. I'm just gonna like put in where I would put some of those. If I had a cactus where each line is here, kind of needs to follow that. It's kind of a funny looking cactus. Oh well. So I'll go back later and kind of erase all the inside from that. And then I could do my next one. Like so. And the tiniest one in the distance. once I have it plotted out, I can get rid of that guiding line. The bottoms have a straight across like that. You can put more in there. You can do that. You can put lampposts, telephone poles, anything on the side of the road using that system as well. So I want you to keep working for about 30 to 40 minutes on your drawing today with your pencil, straight edge or ruler, and eraser, and we'll continue these next time, so make sure you keep it and hang on to it for next time.